At the General Conference session, an experience makes the audience feel the value of emergency assistance. Adventist Review, the publication that delivers more than news, night after night, century after century. Overcoming silence, secularism, and distances, the challenges faced by pastors and volunteers in the Euro-Asia mission. ADRA launches the documentary Strangers Among You, an invitation for the world to see the invisible. Live from St. Louis, the special edition of ANN begins now. At the World Session of the Adventist Church, hope speaks all languages and takes center stage in real stories from Africa, Europe, and the Americas, in worship, cinema, and in the voices of leaders who face crises with the Bible in hand.
More church leaders were selected on Day 6 of the General Conference session. These include the treasurers and secretaries for each of the church's 13 world divisions. The majority of secretaries and treasurers were elected to another 5-year term. Additionally, the church welcomed 7 new secretaries and 1 new treasurer. Leaders were also chosen for the church's various ministries and departments. The majority of directors were chosen to continue in their positions. 3 new leaders were selected. The Communication Department will be led by Alyssa Truman. Public Affairs and Religious Liberty will be led by Nelu Bursea. And finally, Publishing Ministries will be directed by Mario Martinelli. You can read the full list of names on our website, adventist.news. As church membership grows, the church often reorganizes its territories to reach people more effectively. The change here was in subdividing union missions and conferences. This is due to the explosive growth in membership. In light of this, 11 new union missions and conferences were formed. This change covers areas in Africa, Central America, and the Philippines. The evening wrapped with inspiring reports from the East Central Africa Division, the South Pacific Division, and an especially emotional report from the Ukrainian Union Conference.
Right now, in these minutes, hundreds of drones are attacking Ukraine, bringing suffering, bringing destroying of residential areas in Ukraine.
Тому ми потребуємо Божого захисту, і ми в цей час хотіли попросити, щоб помолились за Україну, за мир, який би був для кожного.
So we ask God's protection and we invite all of you to pray for peace in Ukraine.
When one person in our family hurts, we all hurt. And tonight our hearts have been touched by the report that you have shared with us. But even as we wait for this peace, O God, we are encouraged by our brothers and sisters in Ukraine that they are still about their Father's business, to be the face of Christ, to be the hands of Christ, and to be the voice of Christ. We rejoice for the 3,000 souls that have been added to the kingdom, even through these difficult times.
The largest division in the world by territory, and one of the most challenging to preach the gospel amid secularism. In Euro-Asia, where Christians, Muslims, and Buddhists coexist, the Adventist mission endures amid cultural contrasts, vast distances, and closed borders. Next, you will see how pastors, youth, and volunteers are bringing hope where faith struggles to be heard.
The Euro-Asia division is a place of confrontation and historical intertwining of Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism. A region where empires, cultures, and peoples have coexisted over the centuries, forming a complex mosaic of ideas and beliefs. Russia, Belarus, Moldova, Armenia, and Georgia. The others are Muslim, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Azerbaijan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Afghanistan. From the shores of the Pacific Ocean in the east to the Atlantic Ocean in the west, from the Arctic Circle in the north to the Middle Asian Desert in the south. It is the largest division in the world by area. In spite of the difficulties, the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Euro-Asia division continues to be active in proclaiming the three angels' messages. The greatest emphasis is on engaging lay members in ministry. which is reflected in the I Will Go general strategy. 3 years of life and ministry are behind us. Gathering from the past, what can we, as church members in the Euro-Asia division, take with us into the future? The faithfulness of God's children, the self-sacrifice of pastors, the diligence of laborers? Yes, also their generosity, hospitality, their love for their neighbors, love for Jesus, love for His Word. In fact, it is by the Word that we live, for only it endures forever, and only it offers hope. Evangelism remains a central priority for pastors across the Euro-Asia division. To strengthen this mission, field schools for pastors were organized in every union within the region, bringing together over 300 ministers. The training combined theory and practice. During the day, pastors received instruction from experienced evangelists, and in the evenings, they put their learning into action by leading evangelistic programs in local churches. As a result, more than 50 evangelistic series were conducted, culminating in joyful baptism ceremonies that marked lives transformed by the message of hope. Youth ministry also remains one of the top priorities of the Euro-Asia division. The one-year ministry was one of our youth's major mission projects. In Samara City, young people worked throughout the year in a new center of influence. Youth meetings, health exhibitions, and special outdoor activities were held every day. As a result of their ministry, a new congregation was formed in that city a year later. Similar projects take place every year in different cities in our division. Special attention is paid to the education of leaders. Youth ministry leadership schools were held in all the unions, which brought together more than 2,000 leaders. In 2023, the Youth Congress in Zauksky brought together 1,200 young people. They had the opportunity to be trained for various methods of how to do mission best at 48 workshops. The culmination of this forum was the dedication to God on the last day of the Congress. 53 young people were baptized. More than 100 decided to become pastors, and 20 young people expressed a desire to participate in the project, 1 year in ministry. The media ministry continues to grow and gain relevance across the Euro-Asia division, playing a key role in spreading the Adventist message through television, radio, and digital platforms. In October 2024, the Hope Channel Russia celebrated its 10th anniversary. It broadcasts its programs over the internet, cable networks, and streaming platforms. The number of viewers and the regions covered by the message is constantly growing. Radio programs are broadcasted in many languages and reach residents in countries such as Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and many others. These are some of the initiatives of Adventists in the Euro-Asia division. Each Adventist in this part of the world is aware of God's calling to act, both now and in the future. For them, it is essential to stay in motion until the return of Jesus.
I feel that He is calling me to serve.
I am His co-worker.
To carry this message.
I want them to be saved.
To set their eyes on God.
As we love one another, we become His genuine disciples.
Since the 19th century, Adventist Review has stayed up all night working to print history. Now with technology and digital processes that never sleep, it maintains the same mission, to record faith and history in real time.
Since 1849, the Adventist Review magazine has been touching lives and inspiring readers around the world. It is the longest-running publication in Adventist history and serves as the official record of all events and decisions made during the General Conference session. From July 3 to 12, the team distributes 4,000 updated copies of the magazine daily to delegates and attendees. The Adventist Review team operates from their own dedicated room, where writers, editors, graphic layout designers, and operations managers work side by side.
We are functioning pretty much 24/7, not 7 days a week. It's more like 10 days that we're in session for. We go out and we have writers find stories, find what are the latest decisions that have been made, the latest pictures, the leaders that have been voted and chosen. We get all those, and we have deadlines throughout the day, some 2 o'clock, some 4 o'clock, some 6 o'clock. The final judgment hour is at 6 o'clock.
The team remains committed to maintaining accuracy and editorial excellence even under a demanding schedule. The Adventist Review partnered with a local printing press in St. Louis that has been operating since 1923.
Very, very honored. We partnered on this project just a couple of years ago, and I feel like we did a pretty good job. And the fact that we were chosen again is an even bigger honor.
This is the printing press that produces the magazines of Adventist Review. Every day, they print 4,000 copies for the General Conference session. Once the final layout is approved, they start printing at 6:30 p.m. They have 8 people working tirelessly to ensure that everything is printed and ready before sunrise. All copies are delivered each morning to the America Center Convention Complex. A dedicated team handles the sorting and allocation, carefully counting the magazines according to each division's needs. The copies are then dropped off at the back of the dome. Representatives pick them up for distribution. Some copies are also available at Adventist Review booth in the exhibit hall and lounge area.
I love the fact that I'm a part of this ministry and to witness the excitement of people when they get the bulletin. I feel privileged and honored to be a part of the Adventist Review and to be a part of this process, which has such a long history and legacy.
Dennis from Ghana has been an avid reader of Adventist Review since young. He even dreamed of getting his articles published in the magazine.
I think they are doing a great job by printing all the proceedings every day so people can read, and especially those at home can read and see what has happened, and I really think they are doing a good job, and I pray that God will bless them.
In an age where digital platforms dominate, printed magazines like the Adventist Review remain essential, preserving the official records and history of the Seventh-day Adventist Church for generations to come.
Refugees, migrants, stateless people, and displaced individuals from 5 nations marked by war, persecution, and crisis: Colombia, Lebanon, Congo, Thailand, and Canada. The new ADRA documentary, Strangers Among You, premieres at the World Church Session and showcases real stories of those who have lost everything and fight to find respect and dignity.
Today, more than 110 million people around the world live without a place to call home. They are mothers, they are sons and daughters displaced by war, by famine, and persecution. But what happens when the headlights fade? A new global documentary by ADRA International called Strangers Among You invites you to see beyond borders and labels and instead to see people the way Christ calls us to, with compassion, with dignity, and with hope. Filmed across 5 countries and anchored in deep Christian values, this film tells powerful stories of women who've faced the darkest moments in their lives and turned them into movements of healing and of purpose. Here is a closer look.
One of the inspirations behind the documentary was Matthew 25. I was a stranger and you brought me in, you know? And right now we have strangers among us in so many different places. People who have been displaced by war, by famine, by circumstances out of their control. And so this documentary covers 5 different families, 5 different locations.
Well, I am a humanitarian worker, so I have been to some of those places. And I know some of the humanitarian workers that are included in the documentary, so it comes close to my heart. But beyond that, you know, even the name, the title, Strangers Among You, it compels you to a reality that has been unfortunately forgotten, but couldn't be ignored anymore.
What we're hoping the outcome of this is that when you watch this documentary, you're moved to first see the strangers among you. Who are the people who are overlooked, the vulnerable, the people who have been displaced, the people who are pushed aside, and care for them and love them and see them. They're strangers. Take them in, make them a part of who you are and your family and your community. We're hoping that you're moved to be part of a broader picture of the world and to see what ADRA does and get involved with ADRA, whether it's through your support, financial support, or your prayers, or just talking about how ADRA works.
Strangers Among You is more than a film. It's a mirror that reflects our shared humanity and challenge to every one of us to love, lift, and welcome those longing to belong. The documentary premieres in St. Louis, and whether you attend in person or watch later, this is a story you don't want to miss. Because in loving the stranger, we reveal the heart of God.
The Trans-European region encompasses 22 nations, each shaped by a rich tapestry of cultural and ideological diversity. From the icy mountains of Greenland to the shores of Cyprus, the Seventh-day Adventist Church is combining traditional and innovative methods to build meaningful connections in a territory often described as secular. Let's see how local initiatives are empowering people and making a lasting impact across the region. This report is about faithful Trans-European Division members, busy loving, busy growing, and busy sharing. Enjoy.
Over the last 20 years, on average, 7 new congregations have been planted in the TED. In 2025 alone, over 75 new groups are at some stage of organization, and this is because of the passion of our members, pastors, and leaders across our 22 countries.
In countries like Finland, the United Kingdom, and Denmark, Adventist members are planting churches in homes, care groups, or even cafes, creating welcoming spaces to connect with people and worship God.
Against a backdrop of snowy slopes and shared laughter, the Copenhagen Cafe Church plant is coming alive once more, reuniting with former members and new friends at the annual ski camp.
This ski trip is their church. That is the only time that they actually attend church. And we have a week together where we can talk and we can do things together. And they come to the worship and they're part of the singing. And that becomes kind of a mini church within the church.
In Hungary, hundreds of youths attend the Science and Faith Conference. The event offers evidence-based insights, helping participants strengthen their faith and grow closer to Christ and His Word.
We're reaching young adults eager to explore the faith and science connection. Each year, the Mind Days Conference brings Adventists and their college friends together for deep discussions.
In Serbia, Adventist members are planting digital communities on social media to share hope and lead people into a vibrant relationship with Jesus.
We're planting digital faith communities on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Life with God is reaching thousands through this ministry.
We came up with an idea how to show the experience from the people who was touched by the God's hand.
So this project came as the result of prayer. You were praying, God, show me what you want from me, and this idea crystallized in the process.
Yes, it's been 4 years. For now, we have 53 interviews with average views about 12,000. And on TikTok, we have 2.1 million views, 1.5 million views.
So you have non-believers watching.
Yes.
But you also have former Adventists who, after seeing these stories, feel, oh, maybe there's something different that I haven't heard yet. Maybe my faith was too intellectual, and this can lead me in a path of more experiential.
And the Bible is the book who can change the life. We need to give to the people there.
God is using diverse methods in the Trans-European Division. You can see the traditional methods and also new alternative methods with young people and their excitement, their enthusiasm. God is using it to accomplish great things in our midst and for the future. And that fills us with optimism and thankfulness for the great God that we serve and the future He holds for us in Trans-European Division.
Benin, Cape Verde, Liberia, Nigeria, and Togo are some of the 22 countries that make up the West Central region of Africa. In a territory marked by coexistence of Christians, Muslims, and traditional religions, the Adventist mission continues strong, bringing hope, service, and transformation.
West and Central Africa is a unique mosaic of 22 nations, each rich in millennial history and deeply rooted traditions. From bustling cities to remote villages, a striking reality of contrast unfolds. Wealth and poverty, faith and doubt, modernity and ancestral ways, religious complexities and diversities.
Amidst these contrasts, the Seventh-day Adventist Church has taken roots, embarking on an extraordinary journey. Over 3 years witnessed the transformation of lives, the overcoming of challenges, and the growth of a community that trusts in God's power.
From the shores of the Atlantic to the Sahara Desert, Almighty God is at work in West Central Africa Division. Let's discover the unique beauty and diversity of the region. The church in WAD has a rich history that spans over a century. It all began with pioneers like Hannah More, who bravely shared the Adventist message with others as far back as 1863.
Today, Hannah's legacy lives on through the lives of over 600,000 dedicated women who passionately share the gospel in remote and forgotten areas.
In the face of instability, religious radicalism, and natural disasters, the faith of our members remains steadfast. In nations like Nigeria, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, where following Jesus can be dangerous, believers stand firm. The Global Church and ADRA have joined hands to support our members in West Africa. Together, we've provided relief, restored dignity, and shared hope with over 2 million individuals through ADRA projects and community service. Media continues to expand the Adventist mission's reach. Adventist World Radio, Hope Channel broadcast campaigns on radio, television, while social media amplified their impact, reaching thousands of souls. The West Central Africa Division invests in education and leadership, equipping individuals for mission. Institutions like Babcock and Valley View Universities serve as mission hubs. Initiatives like the 1,000 Young Adventist Missionary Volunteers, Faith and Science Conference, Pan-African Youth Congress, and leadership trainings are shaping the next generation. Thousands of people are being trained, equipped, and sent out to share the message of hope. The WAD Impact 2025 initiative aims to reach 200,000 baptisms by end of 2025. Baptisms have already been recorded at more than 13,000 sites. What makes this mission unstoppable? It's the collective effort of every member actively involved on mission-oriented initiatives. Each prayer, baptism, and act of kindness is like a note in a grand symphony of light overcoming darkness. This is unwavering faith. This is a mission in action. This is the journey of the West Central Africa Division, empowered by the Almighty God.
The votes define leaders for essential roles in the global mission. People called to serve who now take on the challenge of leading strategic areas in the next 5 years of the church. Let's now go to the arena with the latest information from the World Session of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
During the General Conference session held at the Americas Center in the United States, 5 new leaders were elected to oversee key areas of the Adventist Church's global mission. They represent millions of members and initiatives that are shaping the present and future of the church worldwide. Busi Kumalo of South Africa, he continues to lead the youth ministries, serving more than 11 million Adventists under the age of 30. He represents a generation that evangelizes through action, media, and a global presence. Marcos Bonfim from Brazil, as head of Stewardship Ministries, he strengthens a movement of faithfulness, discipleship, and spiritual growth. His resources have already impacted churches across dozens of countries. Oratai Chirason from Thailand, the newly appointed Director of Children's Ministries, she is now responsible for nearly 2 million children participating in Adventist programs around the world. Galina Stele from Russia, now leading women's ministries, she promotes female leadership in mission with a focus on training, support, and active involvement. Mario Martinelli, now heading publishing ministries, he takes on the challenge of renewing missionary literature in the digital age and expanding its global reach. Follow all the updates, votes, and decisions from the World Session at the official site gcsession.org.
While the GC session takes place, the church builds its next steps. Every move matters for those who walk with purpose. The GC session continues to shape the path in decisions in the future and in the faith of those who believe in the mission. Stay with us here at ANN and follow everything live at gcsession.org.